Hi guys! Sorry about the lighting if it's kind of all messed up here. It's hard to tell because I'm staring into some bright sun and a very lot of snow. It has snowed a ton here in the last couple of days and it is very, very cold. The high today is actually below 0. So, not that I normally care about how I look in my videos, but if I look like I care even less, that's why. So today I wanted to talk about when to go to Disney World. I get this question a lot from my clients. So there are several things to consider. First of all, are you traveling with kids? Are you, do you want to go when school is not in session, or are you willing to pull them out of school? So something to consider in this regard is that when kids are out of school is when it is busiest. So holiday breaks, the common weeks for spring breaks, and the summer. That's when it is busiest. When it is busiest, you are least likely to get a discount. Disney doesn't, you have to think, why does Disney release discounts? It's to get people on property. When it's busiest, they don't need to get people on property. So when school is out, it's most expensive and it is most crowded. That being said, of that, right around over holidays is by far the worst for that as far as price and busyness. And I would say between Christmas and New Year's is going to be really, really bad. And so between Christmas and New Year's is going to be really, really bad, as well as over Thanksgiving and over holidays like that. Now, that being said, something to consider is that schools in the South, they let out earlier than schools in the North. So I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like they're generally done by the second week of May, but then they go back earlier than schools in the North. So here in Wisconsin, our schools don't start in the fall until after Labor Day. So we don't start until September, but in the South, kids are generally back to school by the middle of August. I mean, again, that's gonna kind of depend on the school and the situation in the state, but that's kind of a general rule. So in terms of weather, something to consider is if you're gonna be planning on going to the water parks. So in the cooler months, again, December, January, February, when the high temperature is in the low 70s, a lot of people don't realize, especially if they're not from America or if they're not from that part of the country, they don't realize how cool it does get there. So if the high temperature is like 72 degrees or 74 degrees, that's really cold to go to a water park. Because of that, the water park, the number of people that are going to the water parks is going to be a lot less. Yes, the water is heated, the air is not. So you have to go from one water ride to the next, or from the pool, you know, to climb the stairs to go up to one of the slides and some stuff like that. So it is going to be quite cool. In addition, because that is when the least number of people go to the water parks, that is when Disney does their refurbishments of the water parks. So they'll close one water park at a time in the winter. So they'll close Blizzard Beach for so many weeks to do the refurbishment, and during that time, only Typhoon Lagoon is going to be open. And then once they're finished with that, then they'll open Blizzard Beach and then they'll close Typhoon Lagoon. So that's something to consider as well. So when considering when to go to Disney World, there really are a lot of factors. Like I said, if you have any flexibility in dates, really. So like I said, it's going to be busiest when kids are not in school, and it is going to be most expensive when kids are not in school. Weather, hottest June through September, and coldest December through February. I have a couple of really good websites that I've found to help with the planning over the last couple of years, and one of these I will actually link down below. It's a crowd prediction calendar. Now, I don't know who made this. It is not by Disney, it is not by Magical Journeys, it is not by me, it is not scientific, but it is really, really very helpful, I think, because this person took into account the popular school break times as well as popular weekends at Disney World. For example, they have the Disney World Marathon weekend, they have the Disney Princess Half Marathon weekend, and those times are going to be busier as well. So all of that being said, if I personally had the ability to go to Disney World just whenever I wanted, okay, I'd probably be there all the time. That, more reasonably, if I could plan a trip and go any time of the year. As I've mentioned many times, my husband is a teacher, so we're kind of limited. He doesn't get regular vacation. Beginning of May, I really liked, we went in the beginning of May. Something to be said about that is that's when they had the love bugs, and they're kind of creepy and they fly all over the place. It wasn't terrible. They don't bite. At first I was like, we don't have these in Wisconsin, what is this? But like I said, they don't bite. It's not a reason to not go during that time of year, but it just occurred to me when I said that. But beginning of May, I thought was a good time because for sure the Easter crowds are going to be done by then. And by then it's getting warm enough to lay out by the pool. You know that it's going to be warm enough at that time of year. By the end of May, kids are starting to be on summer break. So a lot of people are going to be going for that reason. We have also gone in the end of August, which is the very end of August is the latest part of August. We've gone frequently because of, like I said, here in Wisconsin, our schools don't start until after Labor Day. So that's why we can go the end of August with my husband being a teacher. We have gotten a discount pretty much every time we've gone at that time of year. And the later on in the month it gets, the lower the crowds become. It's not the lowest. I would say the lowest crowds were probably when we went in the beginning of May, but it is still very, 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 very hot, at least for those of us who live in climates where in December the high is below zero. If you really want to see Christmas decorations, know that they typically put them up in the beginning of November. So when I went for the Wine and Dine Half Marathon, we caught the end of the Food and Wine Festival and ran in the race. And it was pretty crowded in the beginning of the trip because of the race, but then as the week went on, the crowds dissipated and we got to see the Christmas decorations. So if you go before Thanksgiving, or even in the beginning of December, you can see the Christmas decorations without having to fight the crowds and without having the exorbitant expense of going over Christmas time. But again, it's starting to get cooler that time of the year, so it depends on how important the weather is to you. Or do you really want to be able to lay out by the pool and go to a water park? Then that might not be the best option for you. Ideally, I would be able to go all the time and it wouldn't matter. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I know it was a little bit rambly, but like I said, there are a lot of things to consider and it all depends on what is most important to you. So I hope you found this helpful and thanks for watching. Bye guys.